Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The subject is corporate governance and corporate social responsibility. And today's topic is risk management. This is second lecture on risk management. Teaching agenda for today lecture is we will discuss risk management, responsibility of the risk management process. What is risk management? The process of formulating cost benefit trade-off, that how much you will bear a cost in order to reduce your risk and how much it will give you a benefit. So the trade-off between these two is a process. Basically this is a risk management, but for what? In order to reduce the risk and deciding on the course of action to take. What action have to be taken in order to reduce the risk, or no action to take at all to reduce or eliminate is called risk management. So the process of formulating the cost benefit trade-off risk reduction and deciding on a course of action to take action or not to take the action at all to reduce or eliminate the risk management process. And if you are facing a risk, either you will have to minimize it or you will have to bear it. So you will take any action or you will not take any action. Examples. Again, the same example was in previous lecture, that say you arrange a seminar and this time lunch will be served to the guest. There is a time of 2 hours that all guests will be received and serving of lunch. So you have 2 hours to prepare extra meals. Now the caterer is able to provide a food at short notice but will charge additional cost per guest. In this case, if a number of people exceed your expectation or the number of guests exceed the plan or the already invited guest, you can easily manage that unpleasant situation of shortage of food by paying additional charge to avoid a waste of food. So what was the risk? This is the risk to save your resources on extra that would be spent on extra food. Secondly, unpleasant situation when some of the guests leave or remain hungry during the seminar. So this was basically risk. Either you prepared a lot of food, it will become a waste, or you arrange less quantity of food, then you will face unpleasant situation that some people will leave hungry. So this risk can be arranged by additional cost. So you have to bear additional cost in order to reduce the risk. So you can manage risk but subject to cost benefit analysis. Now what is cost benefit analysis? Either this cost is too high that you can't bear it and you easily face this unpleasant situation that some of the people remain hungry and you do nothing. So if you feel that is additional cost is nothing for you, while this unpleasant situation you will feel embarrassment in this case, so you will pay this additional cost and will get this benefit. and this benefit as well, that you will save the wastage of food. Moving further, responsibility for managing the risk. Who will be responsible for managing the risk? This is basically the question. Shareholder, manager, or someone else? First of all, board of directors, BOD. Board of director, it is the responsibility of the board to manage the risk faced by the company. Board basic duty is to protect the company asset. Company asset from what? From embezzlement, from misuse, from theft, from deteriorations, etc., etc. So these are all risks that we have that I enumerated. Risk management is basically a governance issue. This is a strategic issue. So board of directors or board of governance of any body is responsible to manage the risk. It is a strategic issue. It cannot be solved by lower management. It is basically a holistic approach towards the risk for the whole organization. Risk management in silos will not work. However, management of the company carry out risk management process. Basically, they are actually involved. Then board of governor. Board of governor or board of director of the company will oversee that management have proper expertise and managing the risk or not. What proper expertise are needed by the management? Is there any person who have degree in risk management, or any risk management training have been obtained, or any person who work in insurance company to assess the risk or not? So management use different technique, such for example, in order to avoid the shortage of raw material, they maintain a buffer stock. In order to ensure smooth operation of the company, they keep machinery spare parts that are frequently replaced during the last 5 years. The other is, if there is no other mean, then they can transfer by insuring some of the asset of the company. These are two very technical finance terms that forward and future contract in order to avoid price fluctuation. For example, if the manager is feel that raw material prices will move up in coming 3, 4 or 6 months, they sign a contract with the supplier at a specific rate. Let's suppose there is one item that is 20 rupees per kg, and now the manager feel that it will move to 25, so he fixed it at 21. That for the next 6 months the supplier will provide him 21 the specific material for a specific quantity at 21. This is basically called forward and future contract in order to reduce any price fluctuation or adverse price fluctuation. Risk management process also depends on the size of the organization, nature, and organization format. Obviously, small firm face risk of its own type and management by their owner or their directors who are running the company. But in a large organization face risk of more than more than a smaller one. So in larger organization, there must be proper risk management department or proper proper forum to manage the risk of the company. Risk management process. What is risk management process? Risk management process is it is the process of systematic attempt. It should not be haphazard. There must be a systematic attempt to analyze. First you have to examine, to analyze that what type of risk is, how much the company is exposed, severity of the risk, and then deal with the risk accordingly. There are five steps in the process. To identify risk. Without identification, risk management is impossible. Then assess the impact, severity of the risk. Then whatever technique you will use for the risk management process. Then implementation of your plan, and then review of these all step time and again. This is basically a risk management process. We will discuss one by one in detail. Risk identification. Before plan or policies, both, the company know about how to handle it. Then he should make the policy and plan for risk management. These are the questions that one should answer before making any policy. What are the nature of risk the company is exposed to? So in Pakistan, the risk type and nature will be quite different than South Africa, although both are developing countries and do not have proper system to manage the risk. But in Pakistan, you may face terrorist attack on your company. You may face policy of government might change. You may face flood. In South Africa, robbery is common. Robbery is common, theft is common, price fluctuation is common. So there may be not any terrorist attack in South Africa, but these are different nature that the company will face. So even in a country, different industry like cement will have their own risk, while agriculture business will face their own risk. So nature of the risk must be assessed and identified. Awareness about the risk severity, how much the risk will cost you in financial term. For example, if your company is dealing in handling or transportation of cash, so your employee, your company is exposed to fraud. In this case, fidelity insurance of your employee will work a lot, because your cash is very sensitive matter and your company is handling and transporting the cash from one branch to another. In this case, the risk of embezzlement or fraud or theft is very severe. So fidelity insurance must be made, and there should be proper authoritative control as well. Know all type of risk faced by the company. It means you have to have a list of the company. What will happen if you don't identify these risks? Simply you will be unable to manage it. It is good idea to have a formal checklist that enumerate all exposure to the risk. Also identified the relationship of one risk with another. One risk with another. Ideally, it would be appreciable if the company hire a professional consultant to prepare a risk profile of the company in case company need detailed knowledge of the economics of the industry or need technological know-how. It is also possible when any company pay a premium to insurance company and ask them that we will renew our contract with your company if your company experts come and visit our premises and identified all type of risk to our company. The insurance company will be happily accept your offer in order to identify the risk. Second is risk assessment. Once all risks are listed, the next step is to determine the possible financial consequences. These questions must be asked from the employee and it should be answered. Chances of occurrence that the risk could happen. For example, if the company is running in Balochistan, least chances of flood is there. Similarly, if a company is situated in northern areas, earthquake chances are there to occur. So the chances of occurrence must be assessed. What is the maximum possible financial loss of the company will suffer if any mishap occur? If financial loss is not too much high, then there is no need to worried about the type of risk. What will be the cost of eliminating or transferring these risks to other? If the cost is too high and the company feel that it is not possible for him to bear that much cost to eliminate or transfer the risk, then the company should not take that type of action. Selection of risk management technique. These are techniques when the company in this step, when you assess the risk and you know about the risk and you have a list of all risks the company will face, then you will take action. What technique should be used to reduce or eliminate the risk? Usually the risk is not eliminating because risk-free profit is very low. So reducing the risk is basically objective of the company. First is risk avoidance, to avoid a risk, but sometimes it is inevitable to avoid the risk because the company will take a risk for the getting reward. Second is Loss prevention and control. This is a second technique that is used. Third is risk retention. Even you do not take any action and stand still to bear the risk. The fourth is risk transfer. This is basically insurance, etc. etc. Risk avoidance. What is risk avoidance? Conscious decision not to expose to any risk. For example, not to invest on stock exchange, not to undertake any project. This is risk avoidance. Firm avoiding certain project because of risk. If these projects are high and there is a reward, that firm must take these project in order to earn profit. Otherwise, the purpose of the existence of the firm will not be served. But it is not always possible to avoid the risk at all, because in daily life everybody face a risk. Even if anybody have to avoid to meet the people, to avoid not to expose him to a cool again, there is a chance that he will become sick and have a cold or have any other type of influenza. Risk prevention and control. This is basically to take action to eliminate or reduce the risk. This is also possible that you make precautionary measure to prevent and control the risk. Even concurrent means when something wrong is happening and you are trying simultaneously in order to reduce the risk. And this prevention and control can be even after the risky event occurred. It is also possible. How? Example. For example, company reduce the risk of fire by taking proper SOPs. Means the company have proper SOPs that nobody have to ignite inside the premises of the plant. Fire extinguisher are there. There are a lot of other internal control that are to be followed in order to reduce the chances of fire. In the event if this is basically precautionary measures. If in the event of fire, manager will try to put off the fire to minimize the damages. That is concurrent action that the managers are doing to minimize the risk. After event, company will purchase computer aided manufacturing to reduce the chances of fire. Even if your plant was running on biofuel or fuel, then they will try to buy a new machinery which run on electricity. So this is a risk retention. This is another technique which is used to minimize or control the risk. Refers to absorbing the risk and cover the losses from own resources. Means the company will bear the losses and will make it good from their own resources. It sometimes happens because someone is unaware of the risk or may ignore it. It is sometimes wise but sometimes prove dangerous. For example, if a company with 80 vehicles will not insure it because the annual premium paid for the coverage is more than the loss in case of accident or theft. It is improbable. There is very less chances that all 80 vehicle will meet accident during the year. It is rare chances that all 80 vehicle will someone theft these 80 vehicles, and even it is very rare chances that 80 vehicles will caught a fire. So the premium paid for insurance of these 80 vehicle is far more than the loss in case of any accident or theft. So they will not transfer the risk by insurance, they will retain that risk. Selection of risk management technique, that is risk transfer. What is risk transfer? Transfer of risk to other by and paying some charges to them. Obviously, no will be willing to take you a risk just for nothing. They will obviously charge you for bearing a risk. The organization should make cost benefit trade-off to transfer the risk or to retain it, as was the previous example. Some organizations are specialized in accepting the risk for the risk of the other for fee. These are insurance company. Insurance company take risk on premium being paid to them. They receive premium from thousands of people having similar risk. Using their knowledge and skill, the insurance company manage it. And even all these 1,000 people do not met with any unpleasant situation in order to pay them the claim. So premium from 1,000 people accumulated with the insurance company, so it is huge pool of money, and all policy holder are not paid their claim because all it is rare chances that all will meet these some type of accident. So maybe in 1,000 there are only 10 people who face any accident or any mishap. So this insurance company will pay them to these 10 people out of, let's suppose, 100,000 the claim, which is a tiny or very little amount that the company can manage it. Suppose in case there was a natural disaster that all people suffered losses, like 2005 earthquake in Balakot, that a lot of people face a lot of losses because their houses were totally damaged. In this case, when the company paying claim to all these people in case of natural disaster, insurance company become bankrupt because they would be unable to pay that much money to a lot of people. And there are 4 basic method of transfer risk. Is one is hedging, the other is option, and there is insurance and diversification. We will discuss it later on. Implementation of risk management plan. Implement risk management plan with optimal cost. If the cost is too much high, you should not implement it. Optimal cost is necessary. Let's suppose each technique should be carefully examined to implement it. Which cost you the low, so the lowest one should be applied. For example, if a company decided to transfer the risk, then it is necessary to check insurance cost from different companies. Properly examine the coverage provided means all those risks should be properly studied. That what risks have been, what risks are being covered in the policy. Sabotage and terrorist attack is covered or not. Flood is covered or not. Earthquake is covered or not. Malicious damage, personal enmities, all type of risk should be studied, such as riots during any agitation, flood, or mob that damage your premises, terrorism. You should study these to select the insurance coverage at a best optimal cost. If these all things are covered but the company cost you less, you should go for that company. But be aware that is the company is in a position to honor your claim or not. If the company is a new one and not backed by any strong group or strong other companies, you should be aware of it that it may have a problem in honoring your claim in case of any mishap. Regular review. So the environment in which the company operates is not static, it is dynamic. So when the company operating in a dynamic environment, the risk management process must also be dynamic. The decisions are periodically reviewed and must be revised. All the lists should be checked time and again. Circumstances changes and new risk exposure may arise. So you should assess your risk on regular basis. As the time passes, chances of risk may become more frequent and severe. For example, if you are a single, you may not be bothered to take insurance of the couple coverage. But the situation quite change when you get married and have 3 kids. Then you are thinking about the future uncertainties and their health, any mishap. So the situation changes with individual, and so also the environment change for the company. Thank you.